Bhagya Jala Nigama and the Almaty nursery, where there are about 4 big nurseries which grow about 25 lakh in saplings in each nursery, and they are being given to the farmers. So this is a remarkable initiative, but it needs to be replicated. It needs to be strengthened because they have Vijayapura has a very less forest, just about even less than 1% of the forest Vijayapura has. And in such an area, when this initiative has been taken place, it must do very well because the forests play an important role in environment. We have not created forests. We did not create oceans. We could not create rivers. We could not create soil nor water. All these have been created by the universe. This such a wonderful nature which has been given to us. And so our economy, our social, cultural life, which depends on the elements of environment, these components of environment, we have just neglected them because we didn't make them. We don't know how the process of making a forest, how the process of forming the soil, which has taken, they say, 100 crore years for 6 meters of the top soil to be created on this earth, which we are all here because of the environment. We wouldn't have been there. Plants wouldn't have been there. Animals wouldn't have been there if the soil was not there, water was not there, air was not there. Considering these things, we should have given topmost importance to the environment. Today, the world is facing, and because of this the COVID-19, which has made everyone in the world, aware of the beauty of the environment. We in Bangalore started saying that, oh, our Vijayapura river is flowing very nice today. We have been able to see the trees and the birds. There is no soil in Bangalore. I have been here for the last 4 decades. There was enough soil. There were enough lakes. But all of them, because of too much of development, too much of economic and industrialization, urbanization, we lost a lot of our magnanimous element, these environmental components. There are so many lakes which made Bangalore the most beautiful city, the air-conditioned city, because the lakes create this kind of an atmosphere for Bangalore. So we should understand how the Western Ghats, which I want to come now. Western Ghats are the most important, forests of the world. The United Nations Heritage gave it about 10 or 12 years ago, the Heritage Point, because these environmental forests, the Western Ghat forests, which have about 65 major rivers, and these rivers have set up the hydro, the electricity producing stations. They irrigate millions of acres of land. Like, let's say the Western Ghats of the North Karnataka, where we have 4 rivers, Malaprabha, Ghataprabha, Mahadayi, Kali, and these take place in the same region where we have the most important forests of the entire forests of the South Indian Western Ghat forest. So here, Vijayapura is just next to Belgaum, after Belgaum, Bagalkot and Vijayapura. So Vijayapura needs to be strengthened because between Vijayapura and Maharashtra, when the Krishna river comes and fills the river here, the same river has been made by Mr. M.B. Patil to fill hundreds of lakes, more than 240 lakes. Now the Bhutnal lake, which has been able to be harnessed by people to grow about 65,000 plants there in this Bhutnal lake forest opposite, and about 18 acres of another botanical garden, just like our Lal Bagh, is also being created there. It's a remarkable thing because people, when they look at environment, they feel very happy. We have biodiversity, we have wonderful soil, we bring down the temperature, we create a lot of moisture in the soil. So there is an undergrowth, and then there are bees and the birds which help the pollination, which helps the agriculture, which helps animal husbandry, which helps horticulture. So these are the various things which environment helps. Environment actually supports our economy, supports our culture, supports our socio-economic life of the whole world. How can we build without these minerals, without soil, without water, without electricity, without timber? How can we build a world? We just think they are available in patches, so we go on exploiting them. No, it can't be done. So now the COVID has made us realize the importance of environment, how to judiciously make use of the resources of the world, resources of this environment. Don't recklessly hack them, don't recklessly destroy them, because once you destroy, they cannot be replenished easily. Water can be replenished, no doubt about it, but water will be also not available when we want it. That's why I say that the Western Ghats have to be maintained, Western Ghats have to be sustained, because if we have to sustain our agriculture, sustain our economy, sustain our socio-cultural life of the millions of poor people, because North Karnataka, we have wonderful varieties of agricultural crops. There are 33 major sugar factories which produce enough amount of sugar just because of the rivers which get the water from the forests of the Western Ghats. And if the forests are not there, how can we get the water? How can we run the industries? How can we run the economy? How can we see people being happy? So forests play a very important role. And now Mr. Patil, which has, I think he will speak about the details of how he started it, how, about 92 lakh trees have been planted there by using the students, the NCCs, other NGOs, the forest department, because he's interested, he's committed. That's why he was able to bring these various people, various organizations, various agencies to invest their energy, invest their time in creating this kind of a forest. I'm sure this will have to be replicated. People will have to look at them. And I'm sure that, there is Mr. Udupudi, who is also, I know very well, and he is contributed immensely. He told me that only the native plants have been chosen. So there are fruiting trees, there are flowering trees, which help the biodiversity, and it will eventually, it will improve the environment, it will improve the soil, it will improve agriculture, it will make people to get jobs there so that they don't have to migrate to the big cities. Just like what we saw recently, the migrant workers, such things should not happen in the country, and these forests have to be grown, and the forest, Vijayapura will be a different place. Vijayapura has a wonderful historical city. It needs to be strengthened, it needs to be improved, it needs to be enhanced with its economic and social capacities. I'm sure this forest which Mr. M.B. Patil has started, his son is an American also who studied in USA, he's a wonderful man. I spoke to him and he said he wanted different kinds of people to come and join the webinar. I'm sure there are lots of people who have been invited to participate in this seminar. It will be a successful thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for for the environment and for giving us such a lovely insight about how we need to care for the environment and how to use our resources the right way. So before we move on and talk to M.B. Patil, sir, let's watch a short video on Koti Vriksha Abhiyana and its holistic development at Vijayapura. We have the video now. Well, that's a lot that's been covered in 2 minutes. To talk a little more about this, let's have the coordinator, Murgesh Patin Shetty. He's the coordinator of Koti Vriksha Abhiyana. He's going to give us a little more insight about the program.
Thank you very much, madam, and very good evening all the dignitaries who are participating in this webinar. I am Dr. Mukesh Patel, coordinator of Koti Vriksha Abhiyana from Vijayapura. Now, I would like to bring to your kind information, all the statistical information about this Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, what has happened in Vijayapura district. So, I have a comparison statement of last 10 years. So, I could able to tell you before Koti Vriksha Abhiyana what were the statistics, and after Koti Vriksha Abhiyana what were the statistics. Now, let me start with, there are 3 different forest divisions have supported this Koti Vriksha Abhiyana. I would like to take these 3 different forest departments. One is the territorial forest, second is the social forest, and third is the General Forest Division. These all 3 forest divisions are the backbone of this Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, and unconditionally they have supported this Abhiyana since 5 years. Now, when I say comparison statement, there are 4 different divisions in comparison. One is block area, urban area, roadside plantation, and institution plantation, and others like plantation and distribution. So, when we see the data of last 10 years, before Koti Vriksha Abhiyana 5 years, what I would like to give you information here is, before 2016 and 17, block area plantation, total block area plantation 90 hectares, and after Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, when we have started Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, it was 460.07 hectares. When we look at urban area, it is 4.5 hectares, and here there were 202.15 hectares, and roadside plantation 117 hectares. After Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, 432.98 kilometers. That is how the plantation, the phenomenal growth we can see that in the last 5 years, when the Koti Vriksha Abhiyana initiated by Dr. Emil Patel, that time, sir was district in charge minister as well as the water resource minister of government of Karnataka. And even when we look at the plantation, not only plantation, we can look at the plant distribution rate also. When I look at that, it is almost all more than 100%, where the people have supported, and not only that, forest divisions have taken interest in distributing the saplings to all nature lovers and environment lovers and those who wanted to plant, including farmers and all. So, when I look at distribution of plants in the year 2016-17, it is here about 6.586 lakhs. When after Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, it is 17.701. That is kind of a phenomenal growth. What we can see that in the distribution of not only plantation but even distribution of sapling. Now, this is not just one. I can take even there is one more division which is known as social forest division. If I go on reading all the information, it will be taking a lot of time. So I will try to give you some information with respect to how the changes have been made. Like roadside plantation 898 kilometers. Nowadays it is now 940 kilometers. And even the same thing, we can see that phenomenal changes and the growth and the increase in plant distribution also. And I would like to try and bring your all kind of information that during the Navigator's ministry period as the water resource minister of Karnataka, sir has given us an opportunity or requested even General Forest Division to raise saplings what the farmers are wanted. So by requesting that, when we can see that we have about 10 lakh saplings every year, 115 species to 180 species, different species. It may be a forest species, it may be fruit bearing, right, and it may be roadside plantation. All the species of sapling were grown in the KVL 10 lakh alone was contributed by KVL Forest Division. But one thing what I try to bring your all kind information here. When we started in the year 2016, we were unable to get the plants in the first year. But second year onwards, the kind of support which is given us to this particular by all these three forest division really a kind of Herculean task which they have supported us, and they have made this, the project very successful. So I want to mention here, even not only the forest divisions, not only each of the came into existence, who have supported, like, I would like to take some of the NGOs like Hasiru Torana, Hasiru Sampada, Nanna Gida Nanna Bhubi, the Society for Protecting Plant and Animals. They all have came together, irrespective of party, people have supported this event. And this, I conclude my comparison statement of the 10 years before Koti Vriksha Abhiyana and after Koti Vriksha Abhiyana. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak on this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations for all the information that you just gave us. We have with us now Dr. M.D. Patil, sir, MLA and former Minister for Water Resources, and he is the main mastermind behind Koti Vriksha Abhiyana. He is also involved in water conservation, tank filling projects, step wells, and afforestation, and Vijayapura is what it is because of him today. He's been appreciated throughout the country, and I want to welcome him to the show. Namaskara, sir. First of all, congratulations. And I want to know, how did you come up with this? What made you come up with a plan like this, Koti Vriksha Abhiyana?
I was the district minister in charge when I was the Water Resources Minister from 2013 to 2018. So while a review meeting of the district officials and various departments, when I asked the forest department what is the forest coverage in our district, the officer said it is 0.17. I said, what is the state average then, national average? It says 25 to 30%. So I said, you might be doing a mistake. It might be 17%, not 0.17%. I was astonished. I was shocked. No, sir, I'm telling it confirmed. It is 0.17. Then I thought it's a responsibility of mine as a district in charge minister also and a citizen of Vijayapur. Because Vijayapur historically, as Suresh Hablikaji, my senior friend, he mentioned, it's a drought prone area. During even British regime, Jaisalmer in Rajasthan and Vijayapur, whatever, in Karnataka are the most drought prone districts in the entire country. It's been documented by the British people over there. That's why we find anti-famine, Wilson Anti-Famine Center here in Vijayapur. So then we started, how should we try to increase the forest cover? So that's where we started this Vriksha Abhiyana Trust, and we knew it is not only, it has to be mainly the district administration, the forest departments together, we should make it. So Koti Vriksha Abhiyana Trust is just a helping hand to the district administration and forest department. The actual credit goes to the district administration, all the three forest divisions there, and as I was the water resources minister, I had everything under my command to help the commission over there. So when we started, as Murugesh Patan Shetty told you, in 2016, as it was a drought year, there was not enough saplings over there. So we could not get much saplings that in the nurseries that year. So under our Almaty KB General Division, I saw to it at least out of the 1 crore, half of the things, that's 50 lakh saplings has to be developed in the nursery over there. So they went to Andhra Pradesh, they studied various, this one over there in Andhra Pradesh and all. So KB General in the last 4 years now, every year they have been bringing up nearly about 10 lakh saplings over there, beautiful saplings, nearly about 140 to 150 varieties. Then I had a meeting with all the stakeholders, not only government, the NGOs. We planted the trees, saplings over there in the school buildings, hospitals, cemeteries, wherever it is we found a land and we started doing it. And initially, it was a little difficult. So the next year, I could understand the farmers. We went on improving year by year, because farmer, Suresh Ablikar sir has to take notice, and we all have to take notice. He doesn't grow a tree. The reason behind is when you grow a tree, because of the shade under the tree, you won't get crop to be cultivated. That's the reason they are hesitant. And in the second year, we modified. We asked the farmer. We did not give whatever we wanted to give to the farmer, the saplings. We asked him what he wants. If someone wants mango, someone wants neem, any fruit variety, we started giving him the whatever sapling he requires. That made a great change. Then the farmers started taking initiative. There's a queue. Even in the COVID time, you could see they are all in a disciplined line taking this one. The KB General Forest, they document the entire sapling which is given. And one thing, most important thing is, just we plant it or you give a sapling to some farmer, that it doesn't end up there. We are monitoring. So you see that whether the sapling has been planted, whether it is growing. That has been done by Murugesh Patan Shetty and the Forest Division, the district administration. So the success rate is almost 90% and above. And we go on replacing the saplings which have gone bad. So with this and the water, I was a water resource minister, as rightly said by Suresh Ablikar ji. We started the scheme of filling up of lakes. Vijayapura is a drought area. Today, the water table has increased. Enough water in our open wells, bore wells. Even the failed bore wells have been successful now. So with all of us, this is not one man's this one. It is a collective this one of the district administration, forest division, people, institutions, NGOs. Everybody have contributed, and we started a Vrikshathon also, a marathon. Marathon in Vijayapura means in the Tri City. Everybody used to wonder what a marathon we can have there. So Vrikshathon is a marathon. Actor Yash is the brand ambassador for that. So the Vrikshathon made awareness to the people, even the school children, all the institutions. Now there's a lot of awareness in Vijayapura district. I'm happy about it, and I give all the credit to district administration, forest division, NGOs, and the team. I was just instrumental. I had all the things under my command. I could be a supporting role. Thank you, Sangeeta.
Yeah. You know what they say, a good leader gives birth to a lot more leaders. I think an initiative like this needs a lot of people to come together.
Yes.
And like the trees itself, it keeps growing. So what a wonderful insight you've given us, sir. And I think true holistic development is when everyone, farmers, the volunteers, students, everyone comes together. And the success of this initiative is that. I would like to know how you think that an initiative like this, Koti Vriksha Abhiyana, is going to change the world if you implement this in other parts of the country.
See, if we go to the statistics, your World Wildlife Fund, they have, as mentioned by Ablikar also, we are losing around 8.7 million acres of land every year, forest land every year. This is a huge one because of the urbanization, globalization. So only we could see a model like Europe. Europe is 100% more forest area now, which was 100 years ago. So they are almost, if you take Europe, this one, 2/5, that's a 40% of Europe has forest cover. And they have not stopped at that. They are going ahead. They have planned near about 3 billion, around 30 crores of trees to be planted in the next 10 years, that's 2030. So Europe is a model. So they have understood what is needed to be done to grow plants, trees, and contribute to the world. So accordingly, they have played a major role, which is inspiring to us. So we all have to do it. Not that in India it is happening, but it has to happen 10 folds or 100 folds. We have to emulate the things of the European Union.
Okay, thank you, sir. In a time like this, during a pandemic, what part do trees and afforestation play, and why is it important now?
See, forests, as you all know, they play a very important role in the habitats of biodiversity. So we have losing in the last 50 years particularly, we have lost nearly about 1 million of species, and the wildlife has come down to 50%. Canada has been increasing 4 times, nearly about 60% there has been an increase. So the requirement now, because we have all experts over here who can give a lot of insight, we should give more importance to the biodiversity, because tomorrow otherwise we will face a lot of problems with the food supplies. Millions of people will have suffer with the food supplies, which will be contaminated with the pest and all other things, So afforestation and reforestation, which plays a major role, like Europe, we should start. And this pandemic, Corona, has also taught us a big lesson. So now everybody is thinking about nature. So those who are not thinking, and Bangalore, one time it was a garden city. Today we see Bangalore is a concrete jungle. When I've been brought up in Bangalore, those times Bangalore used to be called garden city, but we don't see now. No more it is a garden city, it's become a concrete jungle. So somewhere, all small things, not to do big things, all small things. There are people who are doing small in a small way. If one person plants one tree, he'll add up to the effect what you see in the climate change now, getting very worsened in the entire world. We have to, one is not only biodiversity, we have to see the temperature now the world is facing, the Mother Earth is facing, has to be brought down. Has to be brought down from Alaska to Vijayapura, wherever. See, we have seen this great effect on the climate change. We should all contribute, because one thing what happens, even in our the logo of the sentence, I think Murugesh potentially missed it, is that a saying by a person over there. See, everybody wants, he thinks that there will be someone else who will come and change the world. We do not want to be part. We do not want to change. We all say someone else will come to change the world. So, and the damage what has happened for the last 200 years is very, very bad. And our elders have given us a beautiful world, planet to live in. We have to give it to the future generation in a livable, in a beautiful place to stay. We should have to proceed in a way like that.
I think this pandemic especially has shown us how a tiny invisible microbe can change everything.
Correct.
And I think the way we need to look after our environment and give our animals and understand animal rights and look at nature differently and respect what Mother Nature has given us, It's like one slap and the mother said, you're grounded, stay at home.
Correct.
So So, sir, soon you'll be completing planting of 1 crore plants. Soon you finished, I think, 92 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the way forward at Vijayapura?
So now, 2 days back only, my deputy collector, myself, we decided on a Mamdapur historical lake, Fadil Shai, we have around 1600 acres of land, 600 hectares of land. So we are now trying to develop that land. And like filling of the lakes, now on the same network, what we have, the canals and our headworks and all this, we have nearly about 200 streams, hala, what you call. 200 streams, there we are connecting those with an outlet, and during floods, we are going to give water to all these streams, and every 500 meter you are going to have a check dam of 1 meter, so that water will percolate inside. So along the streams, along the 200 streams, whatever, there the next phase of this one, the part 2 of the Vrukshatan, Vriksha Abhiyan will start there, and we have now we have learnt a lot of things from this, and we are confident. The confidence level has also been very high. So now together again, I say together again, think it's not the next Vriksha Abhiyan phase 2, at least will a minimum will double it to 2 crores or maybe 3 crores along the streams mainly, and of course the lakes which have been filled up around the lakes also.
Okay, thank you, sir. I will look forward to all the updates I'm going to get about this project, and I hope you keep inspiring and doing more of this work, and this creates so much momentum that this is replicated throughout the world, forget just India. So thank you so much. We now have other speakers who I'd like to invite. The first person is Mr. K.N. Murthy. K.N. Murthy is a retired IFS officer with an illustrious career in the Forest Department, and he's the Principal Chief Conservator of Forests and MD of Karnataka State Forest Industries. He's completed his fellowship program from IIM and is now a part of adaptation to climate change in rural area, evidence from Chitradurga district in Karnataka state. Sir, we would like to have your remarks on this program, sir.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I have 3-4 suggestions to give to the organizers of this program and also for greening up this Vijayapura district. Historically, if we see, this district had wonderful forest. The officers in that district must go to the district gazetteer and figure it out that they are very good forests, and probably, I'm sure at some point of time in history, they had lions also. I wonder if they could discover it again. What happened is, over the years, the Maratha railways, the British guys, everybody has completely destroyed the district, and they brought this district to this level. Now, it is possible to restore some amount of greenery in this district. But the thing is, the district has got only one reserve forest. And it's a bundle of paradoxes, actually. The largest number of sawmills in the state. I retired 2 years before, so the statistics I have is, largest number of sawmills in a district which has one reserve forest, and that one reserve forest is some 1,750 hectares, and using that we can hardly do anything. It has been planted up any number of times, and there is some little vegetation there. It's a good initiative that the district administration has taken, but I have some suggestions. My simple suggestion is that by giving seedlings in bags, there will be a lot of limitation on numbers, and also the survival percentage. If you want to scale it up, it is not possible by giving some bagged seedling. There are certain physiological constraints in the bags. What happens is, all these dry zone species which you are distributing, obviously it's a very dry district. You cannot distribute the Western Ghats species there. So you have to distribute the native species. All the native species are dry zone species. The typical character of these dry zone species is that they will have a very, very long root. If you see on the surface 1 feet, there is 3 feet below the ground. The bags don't provide that kind of space, and once the root coiling happens, your survival rate will come down. I have done, in this service, I have visited Vijayapura a number of times. I have done quite a few experiments in that district. The simplest thing we can do is pick up the seeds pick up the seeds locally available, whether it is neem, whether it is bear, whatever seeds are available in the district. Find a way of segregating good seed and bad seed and give them a nice good coating and give the farmers the seeds in big packets. Now, for a farmer to come to your nursery, carry some 100 seedlings, plant them in a field, make sure that they survive, this is very challenging. Instead, please shift to seed sowing, give seeds like the agriculture department supplies seeds, let the forest department also supply seeds, treated, graded, high quality certified seeds, and let the farmers sow it. Then we have a scheme already. The forest department has already got a scheme of incentivizing farmers who really raise trees. Let us scale it up also. Instead of giving some small money, let us give them a little more money. And then it is very easy. If you plant some 100 seeds and if you get some 20 also, it will be a very huge thing. The efforts which you have to put in compared to carrying seedlings, planting, raising trees, it will be very, very nominal. There are farmers will be able to produce a large number of seedlings by sowing seeds. Then second thing we have to add to this is we give a lot of incentives to farmers. Why can't we put a condition that every farmer to be eligible for any incentive from the government, whether it is from agriculture department, horticulture department, should plant some 10 trees, just put this condition. Yes, let us give them all incentives. We will also give incentives for farmers for growing trees. But let us have a small condition that every acre of the land, the farmer should plant 5 seedlings or 10 seedlings, and then only he can get the incentives from the government, either for agriculture, horticulture, or whatever. If anybody wants any incentive, show some trees. Put this condition, and Vijayapura will be very green in no time. It will be green in. As a probationer, I went to Vijayapura. I was flabbergasted. What is this? There was no tree. There was not a tree for miles and miles. Today there are. I see Vijayapura is vastly transformed. But we can further transform this district by bringing in some 2-3 very interesting, very far-reaching changes. By making very small changes, this won't require much money. This is just a thought process, change in the thought process. Farmers in Vijayapura are very, very committed. You look at their horticultural progress, they can make forest progress also, beat up anybody in the state. I know for sure their horticultural skills, they've been exporting so many things, they have done miracles. They can do miracles in forestry also. All my humble appeal is that don't rely on the seedlings, shift to seed. Let us have an agency which supplies seed and let us encourage farmers through incentivization. That's all what I want to say. Thank you. Could you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
we could hear you. Thank you for. It takes a lot of effort to make something seem so effortless, but you made it seem like very, very simple steps. And I hope everyone uses this. We next have Dr. Abdul Qayyum. Dr. Abdul Qayyum is an IFS officer and presently working as GCF at Chandigarh. His burning desire to protect people dependent on the forest for their survival. He is a batch officer and his achievements include E-Forest Fire, Himalayan Forest Fire Protection, and E-Governance Initiative to predict forest fires in Arunachal Pradesh. So, we are very happy to have you on this show and we would like your insight on this.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, first of all, I must congratulate this wonderful initiative called Vriksha Abhiyan. And we are aware that the kind of situation we are having, I'm talking about the global pandemic. So, this is basically linked to the kind of disaster which we have done in name of development, if I can say so, or the kind of wildlife hunting, deforestation, degradation of wildlife habitat and other forest areas. It's surely linked to this. There are many research works which we have by now. So what are the solution? So solution basically lies, we are very much aware that there is a saying which says that he who plants a tree plants a hope. So we are, through this Abhiyan, basically we are raising a lot of hope. So if I can talk about Chandigarh, in Chandigarh we have started another unique initiative which says about One Vibhag Aapke Dwar. So that means basically forest department at your doorstep. So we have basically reduced the red tapeism, if I can say so, because in Chandigarh usually earlier people used to come to the office, then they go to the range office, then nursery, and then they will get the plant. Now what we are doing is we are running 3 parallel vans in Chandigarh. So it goes to almost every possible household and they give sapling of their own choices. In this sapling category also, we have ensured that the minimum size should be 4 to 5 feet, so that the survival percentage can be reached. And also we are looking for, we are trying to have maximum indigenous species. And someone very, very beautifully said that we have moved into a monoculture system. So in order to defeat monoculture system, we are going for mixed plantation everywhere. In our nurseries, we have more than 150 different species. And these all species are freely accessible to all the to the people of Chandigarh. We also prepare something called Greening Chandigarh Action Plan. And this is binding on all departments. Every department has been given certain mandate. They have to follow all these things. But in front of this August gathering, I would like to raise one thing. We see that in any government function, planting tree has become a new normal, if I can say. So point is, what is more important is the post-plantation care. We should also give more emphasis that after plantation, what actually happens. So what we did in Chandigarh, that we have started ensuring that people adopt these trees. So in last week, we did a plantation to the size of 23,000 with different armed forces and paramilitaries also. So what we did is each and every plant now are dedicated to some Jawan or some constable or somebody. And we have also requested that after a year or two, they will visit back to the site and see what is their contribution. So that if we see something growing, we naturally get a lot of positive vibes out of that. So we thought that why not to use these ideas so that people can come forward, they can join our initiative, and we can further add to the greenery. I'll just conclude with with one beautiful fact that Chandigarh boasts of its being a most green city, if I can say. In recent report by Indian State of Forest report, it was claimed that Chandigarh greenery has gone up to around 46% of its geographical area. So it is possible only because of large people participation. Here people are much aware, and we have also started planting at various dumping sites. So we are in process of reclaiming lands. So with this, I'm sure that your Abhiyan, that Vriksha Abhiyan is certainly going to motivate a lot of people. Many people have joined this initiative, in a similar initiative in Chandigarh also, and we are seeing a good days ahead. With this, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations for Chandigarh being a green city. I think, as you rightly said, what you nurture well will grow well. So it's not just about planting, but it's also about looking after it after you've planted these trees. We next have Deepak Sharma, sir. He is a retired IFS officer and has served in many forest divisions in Karnataka. He is a deputy advisor in planning and as a DIG forest policy in Ministry of Environment and Forestry. He is retired as PCCF and is currently serving as the chairman and monitoring committee for supervising mining operations. Thank you, sir, for being a part of this discussion. We would love to listen to what you have to say and how to take this forward.
Hello, good evening. Am I audible?
Give us 3 seconds, and then once you see yourself on screen, we would like you to start off.
Yeah.
Just a little, 1 second. Yes, sir. Now we can.
Yeah. Good evening. Thanks for the introduction, long introduction, and also for the organization for organizing this fantastic initiative. Regarding talking about greening of Vijayapura district, I think we should have the basic statistics of the land use of the district. As you may be aware, the land, 88% of the area of the geographical area of the district is under agriculture. 6.5% area is under barren, rocky wasteland, full of rocks where trees are generally not growing. 2% area is under water body. 1% area is under built-up area, and about 3% area is under government custody in the form of revenue wasteland, forest land or scrub land. Now, whenever we have to talk of greening of this district, we have to think of different strategies for tackling these areas. As I have already heard, these things have already been done. I would like to summarize 3 important strategy points which need to be focused. Number 1 is with respect to the areas which are already protected by fencing. It may be a school compound, it may be a hospital compound, office compound, even a private house. All these areas, irrespective of the locality, taluka, district headquarters, or otherwise, they need to be planted wherever possible. Obviously, trees cannot be planted everywhere, but wherever it is possible to plant within these compounds, these have to be planted because they have the best chance of survival. Then I have also mentioned that the district has lot of rocky wasteland. 6.5% of the district is covered with stony rocky wasteland where planting has not been done, or probably planting will not be successful, but we cannot give up these areas. These are potential areas from the point of protection. I will suggest that and obviously these areas are not always with the forest department, they are with the revenue department, scrubland. These areas need to be tackled. As Dr. Murthy has already suggested about seeds. Seed dribbling will be very important for these areas. What is to be done is to prioritize these areas, close them by stone wall fence or by stone wall or by other means, do lot of soil conservation works in those areas, and then take dribbling of local seeds. I have the experience of Narozi Wildlife Sanctuary, which you may have heard of in Ballari district. When we started this closing this area in 1994, it was absolutely barren area, and within about 15-20 years, the area has become green. Therefore, all the stony, rocky areas of Vijayapura district, and Vijayapura district has got a very big share of it. All these areas need to be closed to the extent possible. Soil and moisture conservation works have to be taken up, and dribbling of seeds have to be taken up. This is a difficult task. It will take its own time, but this is one way of greening at least 6% of the area. The greening of the private lands and other things I mentioned just now, that will cover only about 1 or 2% of the district's area. Therefore, the focus of planting in the district, if the district has to green, we have to fall back on the 88% of the agricultural land that is spread over the entire district. In fact, agroforestry should not be taken as the farmers paying service to the forest department. It is basically for their own good. As already mentioned, the effects of climate change are becoming more and more ominous, and the amount of loss of soil and water that has taken place in the agricultural land, nobody knows. It is necessary to ensure that the agricultural lands are protected. So the agroforestry will come in the way of helping the farmers not only to increase their income, but also to improve the condition of the agricultural land. And this deterioration of the agricultural land is more pronounced in the eastern plains of Karnataka, which, as already mentioned, is called the second driest region in the country, and Vijayapura is the most important district among these. Therefore, agroforest raising of seedlings will be done by the department, but definitely if it is an activity that can also be privatized. There is no harm in people taking up initiative in planting. We had a program called Kisan Nursery in the past, about 25 years back. Similar program can be initiated. The private individuals can take interest, they can charge for the seedlings, they will grow, and they can distribute to people. This way, agroforestry is the only hope that we can bring a real change in the district. Other activities will bring improvement or greening of only a small percentage of the district. But agroforestry is the only beacon of hope that will bring greenery to the entire district. So that is all I wanted to say. I'm sure as I have heard already, that a lot of activities have been taken up in agroforestry. My only request will be this component of afforestation needs to be given as much focus as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, sir, for all your simple suggestions and giving us steps to the way forward and how to take this initiative ahead. And also congratulations for all the efforts that you've put into this program. We now have Mrs. Deepika Bajpai, IFS. She is the Deputy Conservator of Forests. She actively works towards sensitizing the masses about the significance and protection of forests. She has initiated public participation in mass planting programs and created a sense of ownership with the existing forest. Welcome to the discussion, ma'am. We would love to know your thoughts and your suggestions towards a better future.
Am I audible? Hello?
Just give us 2 seconds and then you can. When you see yourself on screen, you can. Yeah, now it's correct.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And I would like to congratulate this initiative. Actually, it is very rare for a public representative to come forward with these kind of initiatives. So I always believe, I was a DFO in Bangalore for 3 years. And I have joined this webinar more as a student to learn from my seniors than to contribute. So I was looking at this webinar from a more study point of view, and I have gained a lot. I have learned a lot today. So it is very rare for a public representative to come forward and take these kind of initiatives. And when they get involved, the success is phenomenal. So my seniors who have worked in the department for a very long time, Dr. Ken Murthy sir and Deepak Sharma sir, they have spoken about how planting should be done, where they should be done, and what are the different ways of extending greenery in the district. So from my experience, I would like to contribute a few points. When I was in Bangalore, we had initiated a small web-based platform known as Hasiru, where people who are interested to buy seedlings from the government nurseries can actually see real-time inventory on that app. And they could book the seedlings 7 days in advance. So what happens is, when they look at the seedlings, the size and the species available, they could book it online and payment was done, and the nursery would hold those seedlings for 7 days. On the 8th day, if they do not turn up to the nursery, that will be released in the inventory back. So what happens is, there are a lot of complaints that when people go to the nurseries, they do not get the seedlings that they desire. This kind of technology infusion would actually lead to transparency, and there would be no complaints. People can see real-time inventory. What are the species available? What are the size available? And which nursery are they available? So what happens is, people actually get motivated to book seedlings and take it at their convenience. That is one thing. Second thing is, sir was speaking about the closed areas, like school buildings or private or government land and all these things, where the success would be very high if planted in these closed areas. Dr. Abdul Qayyum spoke about reclaiming of dumping sites. Now, I have never visited Vijayapura and I do not have much idea about the district, but this is also a very promising area, that is reclaiming of dumping sites. So there was a small dump yard in Bangalore near Malavalli, and one of my PCCFs, he visited the area and told us, why don't you start experimenting with ficus species? So we took his advice and we started planting ficus and bamboo. And within 3 years, we had a very good success. So this can also be tried. Reclaiming of dumping sites is also a very good promising area which can be tried. And one thing from my experience I can say is, we have to bring in the culture of planting. I mean, right from a child who is in nursery to an old man, we should have a culture of planting the district. So Vana Mahotsav and World Environment Day and these kind of days should be taken as an opportunity for mass planting programs. So people should feel inspired to go to the seedling nurseries and pick up seedlings and plant it wherever they feel like. Tree Patta scheme was also there once upon a time in Karnataka. I don't know if that can be revived. People can be given tree pattas so that when the tree is mature and it is harvested, that proceedings of this harvest can go to the person who has a tree patta. So few these kind of initiatives can actually bring in a lot of culture of planting in the district, and only when citizens get inspired, then only you can ensure greenery at a mass scale. So I left my comments here, and I am looking forward to learning more from the dignitaries here in the platform. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Tiny drops of water make the mighty ocean. So thank you so much for your easy steps. It's something that we can all follow. And it is, I'm sure it adds a lot of value to this discussion. We next have Adarsh NC from Telis Creation. Adarsh has been working professionally in the production business of photography and documentary films for the past 15 years, and everything has been related to the environment. He's been on BBC, NGC, Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, and many more. Welcome to the discussion, Adarsh. Please tell us about your journey and how and the way forward.
Good evening.
Adarsh, you will have to wait for exactly 3 seconds. Once you see yourself on screen, you can start talking. Yeah.
Good evening everybody, and good evening, Sir M.B. Patil, sir. We have interacted in the past many times over discussions about wildlife, environment, and such activities. As part of Telis Creations, we believe in a motto called create, connect, and conserve. So same thing is happening with your Riksha Abhiyan efforts, which are planting about 1 crore trees in Vijayapura area. I would definitely help you in documentation process, as we have discussed with your office, and we will be documenting this in the future as well. And mainly what we should look into is, be it Vijayapur or Bangalore, we are growing horizontally, so which is definitely a sad thing, because you are losing more greener pastures around the cities or villages, wherever we are, instead of growing vertically, So every city, that way we should think of, should grow vertical, not horizontal. As we grow horizontal, we are losing more green cover. The idea of any place should be tall tower, green cover. If we go vertical, it is better in a way to conserve the natural habitat by itself, which is existing in and around any city or any area which is urbanizing rapidly. The second point is, there is a value of every tree which you have planted. This value should reach people in any form of messages. Like, for example, any tree which will planted with a cut size of 3 meters or 2 meters to 7 meters, whatever, will produce oxygen ranging from 500 liters to 1400 liters per day, which is, if you fix a value to this, in today's world, as you know, how much we are fighting for a ventilator, what are we giving? We are giving oxygen. So if this value of oxygen can be shown to people and if people are made to realize that there is a value for this, like Deepika Bajpayee said, the patta system, if you fix a value to a tree, people are more interested, in fixing a value to everything. So the trees you have planted has value. So this value should be realized. The people should realize there is a value of either by they are receiving through oxygen or by the trees itself. So these are points which will definitely help you in taking this effort forward again. And of course, so natural pollination supplants, like, which help these trees which you have planted. It definitely helps in bringing about a process of helping the pollinating agents or birds or bees or whatever in these area. And of course, the water retention increases. So these points I would like to put forward in your efforts in future, be it for Ruksha Abhiyan Pratishthan or anybody who's working in these areas, is that my input is about such efforts is always you take public into support, because they have to realize, like a forum like this should be reaching more number of people, so that more number of people be aware of what their surrounding itself is. So that's my point, and I would definitely be happy to be of support to you as we have discussed in the past in any of your endeavors and adventures. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think through your documentaries and through your photography, I'm definitely sure that a lot of people are getting aware of such programs through you. And also, like you rightly said, we have to grow vertically and not horizontally, even as human beings. So thank you for all the inputs. We now have Rajendra Kulkarni, sir. He's the next speaker. Rajendra Kulkarni, sir, is the Secretary of Manav Charities and is actively involved in the education of environment-related activities. He was also part of the Air Force before. Welcome to the discussion, sir. Please let us know your inputs and suggestions for the program.
Thank you.
Just give us 2 seconds once you see yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I am Rajendra Kulkarni, representing Manav Charities and NGO working in the area of health, education and environment. We have been working for last 22 years, and environment has been one of the subject of our NGO. As an NGO, we are at the grassroots level working. We are not experts. I really appreciate our Suresh Hablikar, who has invited me for this today's webinar, and I am hearing from all the experts. I am too small when you compare the experts hearing here, and I really be proud to be here, because I am basically from Vijayapura. No doubt I am staying in Bangalore, but I am from Vijayapura. Baswan Bagewadi is my hometown, and I am very proud that I belong to a historically, culturally very strong district. That is no doubt about it. I am sure people must be knowing that Vijayapura is called the southern Punjab, Dakshina Punjab, because 5 rivers move through this Vijayapura district. And if you look at the background, from the national leader, highest president of India, to the chief ministers, they have been, that Vijayapura has produced many leaders. But unfortunately, today when we see at the critical condition of Vijayapura, it is the most backward. I don't know why. We are rich by culture, rich by resources, but still we are very poor district. Somewhere we have lagged. I should thank M.B. Patel sir, who has initiated this program, and I think somebody has come forward and understood the need of the environmental this one. Growing trees, definitely. We are also growing every year 5,000 saplings I distribute from Manav Charities. And what is my concern is, sapling is already placed, but how to protect that and how to bring it. In fact, I requested many colleges and schools to take care of 5 plants, every 5 saplings, and if they protect that next year, I will give 500 rupees and a certificate as tree guards. Tree guard is a must to ensure that the tree grows properly. In fact, these are basic things which at the grassroots level we need to initiate with the community who should understand the importance of the environment. If today we don't protect, as I said, it is really great that MB Patil has taken in 2016. But earlier also we had the same people, same resources, same leaders. But somewhere he understood and he brought it to the greater level of the next this one. And right now I am trying to develop, protect, not develop, in Bangalore, Puttanalli Lake in Yalanka. But unfortunately, it is a government policies where the BBMP's involvement is there or the forest department is there. Many people interference will not take it forward so easily. So one has to be more very, very proactive, and it should be simple.
Thank you so much, sir, for the input. It's now time for the panel discussion, and we have with us a lot of media reporters and environmentalists who are going to be part of this discussion now. I would request all of you to please mute your phones and also switch on your videos so we can see all of you. And please give 3 seconds before you speak. And we will now head to the panel discussion. I would like Okay, I would now like to invite DP Satish, Senior Editor, Network 18, Manu Ayappa, Chief of Political Bureau, Times of India, Nagarjun Dwarkanath, Special Correspondent, India Today, Niranjan Kagre, Chief Reporter, Deccan Herald, Shri Rajshekhar S, Senior Assistant Editor, Political Editor from Bangalore Mirror, Raju Vijayapura from Deccan Herald, Hubli, Virendra M, an environmental writer, Shri Krishna Adupuri. I would like to welcome all of you for the panel discussion. I hope your video settings are visible to you, and please make sure that you are sitting in the right place, and please unmute your phone. Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can see all of you. So we can start the panel discussion now. So yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I would request DP Satish sir to start the discussion and take it from there. Can you hear me? DP Satish sir, we would like you to start the discussion.
He'll have to unmute himself.
Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear?
So you need to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Even Rajendra Kulkarni sir, you'll have to unmute yourself. We can't hear. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Ms. Aadar sir, even you're on mute. Please unmute yourself. Even a lot of them are still on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. I request DP Satish sir to take over, please.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, we can hear now. Yeah.
Yeah. First, I congratulate Mr. M.B. Patil and his son, Mr. Basan Patil, for doing something good for their district. Normally, politicians don't get into these things, and what they have been doing is a great job, and it's being covered by media adequately. Because I know Mr. M.B. Patil quite well, and he was Karnataka's water resources minister, and he used to come to Delhi often to fight Kaveri case for Karnataka. He did a great job, and I was in Delhi during those days. And he's interested in conservation and afforestation and all. And Vijayapura was known for droughts. And in the entire Karnataka, Vijayapura was always known for drought. And when I was a child, when I was in college and all, Vijayapura was synonym for drought and all. And MB Patil is trying to turn Vijayapura into a green district. He is trying to turn Vijayapura into a fertile district. And he is doing a very good job. I hope all other politicians, our MLAs, MPs, and our ministers and all follow this model and do something for their districts. We can certainly do something because Vijayapura was a dry land and he is trying to turn Vijayapura into a green land. And I wish him good luck.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I think
Somebody-
you sort of muted yourself.
Yeah. Can we start?
Yeah. Then we now have Mr. Manu Ayappa, the Chief of Political Bureau Times of India, to give us to continue this discussion. I think you have to unmute yourself. I can still see. Huh? Okay, so or we can am I audible? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Can we please have Nagarjun Dwarkanath, special correspondent from India Today, to continue the discussion?
Thank you. Firstly, tell thanks to Mr. M.B. Patil and his son for providing such a platform for all of us, not only for environment lovers, but also a lot of people, many things that we didn't know from the experts here. My suggestions would be only 3-4 points here about how there should be a PPP model, not just the public participation, but also government participation is equally important. Forest and environment has always been our last priority in terms of policy as well as administration. So we have to make that priority next time. Whenever Mr. Patil comes back as a minister, I hope that he pushes this agenda of in the government that public-private participation in forest and environment should be taken as priority. And also in booth level, we can have across Karnataka booth level monitoring committee of both in panchayat officers as well as NGOs as well as citizens, and encourage them to take up something like a Koti Vriksha Abhiyan. At a smaller scale at a booth level, they are encouraged also. And at the end of the year, we can always have an audit, and the best booth or the best panchayat will have extra grants from the government, or some remuneration will be a development scope for them as well. So that's one thing. And encouraging growing of timber in empty land, and that way people may stop cutting trees in forest land. Empty land should be encouraged to have timber trades. They grow a lot of trees where it can be used for commercial purpose. Employment can be provided. Thus, people will stop entering forest land and maybe cutting trees from there. That's another aspect that we can look at. And also multi-layer farming. We are constantly doing the way conventional farming that people have taken up, but multi-layer farming with trees, herbs and shrubs, all the 3 layers can be taken up is what people have proven already in few parts of Karnataka. If that is done in widespread and wide scale, it can be totally, not only the forest area will be Koti Vriksha, but also the agricultural land will have Koti Vriksha Abhiyan.
Thank you.
Okay, that's actually a very interesting point, and I would like to know Mr. Virendra PM, the environmental writer here, what his views are on the topic. I think you need to unmute yourself, sir. I think you're on mute. Yeah, now.
Actually, I'm from Shimoga district. I've been off take of forest land. Often in Shimoga, we hear the news related to encroachment of forest. Erosion of forest into the land. The Bakur influence for granting ownership rights. Okay, But what is happening in Vijayapur, well, I'm really happy with that. I would like to say one thing. This aspect is really good. I mean, what you're doing, it is sort of an initiative of creating national asset. Okay, but similar model can be replicated in few parts of Shimapur district where there is vast chunk of arid land. We can replicate the experiment in Shigaripur, also. In addition to that, what I do think is a similar kind of initiative can be planned in neighboring Chitradurga and Haveri districts also, where we have a vast expanse of arid land. Also, another thing is, along with initiative like this Koti Vriksha Abhiyan, we can think of some sort of agroforestry experiment that has become successful in Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and other nations. Well, we can incentivize the farmers who opt for cultivation, who opt to have some trees of timber value or fruit-bearing forest trees in their private agricultural lands. So, agroforestry initiative can also be thought, I think. And also, we have vast chunk of arecanut plantations in our district. So, promoting farmers or motivating farmers to plant the forest variety saplings in the arecanut plantations at ratio of 2:1. I mean, it can have 2 arecanut saplings, one this endemic forest species saplings. So, well, the mission of having natural green covering, green cover will be fulfilled with this. So, I think agroforestry. It is the right time to think of it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to conclude here.
Hello. Hello, Sayukta.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I would like to make one point.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
I just want to, somebody was saying about Haveri and all that.
Right.
See, from Ranebennur to Belgaum in North Karnataka is about 200 kilometers of land and about 45 to 50 kilometers width. It is actually a transitional belt. It is an ecotone. We have the Western Ghats towards the west, and as the Western Ghats subside, we have the thorny, bushy, scrubby jungles, where we have this black buck sanctuary in Ranebennur. And then as it subsides, we have the depressions. These depressions come when the mountains, they subside. These depressions over a period of time became the water bodies. They became lakes and ponds. And towards the east, we have the grasslands, that is the Deccan Plateau. So now these 4 ecosystems are different in their structure, but they override each other also. That is why we cannot go on planting trees in every place, because in certain areas, like for instance, the Black Buck Sanctuary is about 10,000 acres of land, where there were once a great Indian bustard, a great bird. I made a film on that. And in that, I found out that thousands of eucalyptus trees have been planted there. They should not have planted these eucalyptus trees. I brought this to the notice of Mr. Verma, and he said, yes, you are right. Then he wrote a letter to the government of India. What I'm trying to say is, this is a wonderful land which is not to be found anywhere in the country, the ecotone belt. And we have to understand how these, Deccan Plateau is very important. It's a grassland. And people think, oh, it's a grassland, it's a wasteland. We have lost 5.6 million hectares of grasslands. Grasslands are a carbon sink. They are wonderful sources of water and basis of evolution of environment and development. And also great sources for the farmers and the shepherds. Where will they go? Where will they take their cattle for grazing if we cut these and if we treat them as wasteland? So we have to develop this. And looking at the soil, looking at moisture, looking at temperature, looking at the nutrients of the soil, we have to find out where, what kind of species will come. Because we started the first urban forest in Bangalore was built by us about nearly 15 years ago. The army had given us about 200 acres of land where we planted 120 species. We tried to find out from Kolar, from Tumkur, because Bangalore was a transitional belt. even today. That's why we have to understand, when we start planting, we have to understand the nutrients, we have to understand temperature, moisture, humidity, nutrients. Then only we can bring those species of trees and plant them. Otherwise, the trees will not come up. In the grassland, you cannot go on growing the forest. No, it is meant as a grassland. It is meant as sholas. It is meant as savannas. We have the kind of, in the tropical countries, we have different ecosystems. And each ecosystem has to be provided with its own resources and wherewithals. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was actually a lot of information that you brought to light. And especially we would like to watch the film as well. Is there anyone else who wants to say something?
Yeah, Samyukta, I want to add a couple of points.
Yeah, okay.
If you agree.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is that world over, there are efforts. Even the worst deserts, people are planting trees. So there is a desert development program. There is an international convention. So people are trying to plant in every place. I agree with Mr. Suresh Ublikar that certain areas which are meant for certain animals, maybe black buck or great Indian bustard, we should not plant. But that's not my point. My point is, Vijayapura we can very well plant plenty of trees, because we should look at the history of that place. That's why I started with the history thing. So if you look at the history, turn the gazetteer of the district, go back by 200, 300, 400, 500 years and see what it was. That gives us a clue. So we have to build on that. I was trying to say the seed dibbling thing. Seed dibbling, our environmentalist friends have done it in a big way, but there were some fundamental flaws in that. So what is being done is put a small seed in a huge earthen ball and sow it. That doesn't work. You have to give a very small coat on the seed. And I have done it myself. Naked seed also I have sown. Plenty of seeds I have sown as I was in watershed development department. Lots of field bunds we have sown, including some tamarind, neem, these, that, all kinds of things which grow in the district. We received wonderful results. We received great results. The only thing is that in summer, people see that some of them dry up. We will be under the wrong impression that they are dead. They are not dead. The earth is the greatest preserver of life, and the root, what goes into the soil, survives for another 10 years without any problem. You may see the surface is dried up, but the next year it is up, and another 2 years it will struggle. Third year it is going to shoot up. The whole district can be regenerated by sowing the seed. Very easily. That's the easiest way. Planting seedlings, I planted 1 crore, I planted 2 crore. These are all number counting. But if you sow the seeds, you will get in millions and billions. That's one point. The second point is, my colleague Ruthan was saying that about oxygen and water and all that. It's easy for me or the panelists to understand all these environmental elements. But a layman, it's very difficult for him to understand. So what we should do is, we should find out some kind of a middle level income. There are a lot of possibilities. Midway income we have to find out. We have to create some way that the farmers are able to generate some income, and they are also able to sell their produce easily. Now, for example, Vijayapura has largest number, as I understand, is the neem trees. Neem seed, they produce neem seed. That neem seed is in great demand. Neem products are in great demand. Can we do something? Can the government do something? Can the private industry get in there and do something so that the farmers every year from out of the seed, they can get some revenue. When they cut the tree, they are very desperate to sell. There are no buyers. There are a large number of sawmills, but they don't get a marketing there. Can the government do something for creating a market for the neem trees grown by the farmers? We should look at these elements also. All the time we talk that I have grown this many trees, that many trees. But what is that we have delivered to the farmer other than a kind of incentive at the time of planting? We need to have kind of a time series income. If somebody grows a neem tree for say 50 years, can we see that he gets income over at least 40 years? Can we see that his produce gets some kind of price? Neem is desperate. Everybody who grows neem is trying to sell his timber somewhere very close to Bangalore. It's being asked for them throwaway price. So we need to have some kind of a tangible outputs and some kind of income for the farmers. Just preaching is fine, but then finally, in real terms, these are the things which matter. So the government should find out some ways of utilizing whatever products are available in Vijayapura. Start generating some small. Cottage industry is good enough for producing neem oil or neem cake and selling it. There are hundreds of products from the neem. Why don't we help farmers to set up these local industrialists to set up small cottage industries and make it an industry, and surely there will be 1 billion trees more. If there is some income from a tree, there is some way of generating employment, it is going to catch up. Not by suggesting that we'll convince people about, yes, definitely will convince, the temperature will go down. If you have so much of greenery, temperature will go down. But that is besides the point. Farmers will be convinced only when they see the results, and they will be convinced only when they are the beneficiaries. The rest of the things will appear as though it is theory and we are trying to preach to them. So this is my point. So thank you for sharing, for giving me the opportunity to share my point.
K.N. Murthy sir, and for rightly pointing out that Mother Nature, for rightly pointing out that Mother Nature is the nurturer, creator, and the transformer. I would like to thank M.B. Patil sir for starting this initiative, and Suresh Hedlikar sir, and all the panelists, environmentalists, journalists, everyone who's been a part of this discussion, all the IFS officers, retired IFS officers who have contributed so much to this discussion with their suggestions, their expert advice, and I'm sure Koti Vriksha Abhiyana will be the role model for a lot of other models like this, and we need to replicate this throughout the country. This discussion will be available. I think a video of this will be shared.
Hello, madam.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you very much for.
Hello.
Now have.
Hello, madam.
Yes, I am not sure who's talking. So we now have Sri Krishna Adupuri, sir, who is a retired IFS officer. He retired as the Chief Conservator of Forest. He worked as the he worked at Almaty for 8 years and was involved in the creation of Almaty Gardens. He's now giving us the word of thanks. Please.
Word of thanks. He's going to use his talk, not a vote of thanks.
Okay, he's giving his comment and the concluding points. Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Nandaraj. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you. So switch on the video, sir. Put your video on, Madi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening to all dignitaries who participated from various fields, especially senior retired forest officers like K.N. Murthy Saab and Deepak Sharma, and also NGO like Kulkarni Saab, and all media people who wholeheartedly participate in the important program of afforestation in Vijayapura district. Vijayapura district, as you know, it is already discussed, it is one of the toughest area to make any afforestation program successful. And it is tried and tried. Many trials have been conducted. But the last 5 years, how it is made successful. In 2016, the M.B. Patil Saab was Minister for Water Resource. He was having one of the major department, irrigation. Lot of pressure was there. In spite of all pressures and enormous work, he concentrated on environment and forestry. That is a great thinking and visionary approach of Dr. M.B. Patil because of his initiation, because he was having every resources in his hand. And when he conducted a meeting at district level, at the time of discussion, he really surprised to see that it is 0.17% of forest area in the district. It is a vast geographical area. Vijayapura is one of the big districts and very less forest. It is 0.17 against 21.67% of national average. Then immediately he realized there is something is to be done. For that, he called a meeting of all the district administration. And because I was there as CCF during that time, that's why I know about that initiation program and how he motivated people, how he materialized all the resources should be available for to make it success. And mainly forest department, wholehearted involvement of forest department and all the district administration. And also taking lead by the district minister himself. And the water resource means KB Channel is nearby, it is in the Vijayapura district itself. He is owning one forest division, and that is an advantage for the Honorable Minister then to initiate this Koti Vraksha Abhiyana, for which he mobilized people's support, people participation. He realized people participation is very important. Agroforestry. Agroforestry initially 2016 it was not that progressive. Subsequent year he is able to succeed because he understood the need of the people. Based on the need of the people, he asked people to grow seedlings which are required by people. In which major sandal and red sandals, mahogany, and tamarind, mango, sitafal, nelly, like that. These are all economic species. He asked forestry people to take up this type of seedlings which are in demand by the people, by the farmers.
Thank you, sir, for the suggestions. We would now like to request MD Patil, sir, to give us our concluding remarks and also tell us a little more about how we're going to take this forward.
Sanyukta, first of all, I'd like to thank all the experts here, retired officers, dignitaries, and the media people over here. Everybody, right from Suresh Ablikar to Udpudi to all my media friends, everybody. Lot of things have been, we got a lot of information, lot of suggestions and all this. We'll take up all these suggestions very seriously and we'll try to implement each of one. At the same time, some clarification also I want to, because give you here is, we are giving saplings to the farmer. It has been documented and we monitor that what the farmer is growing and all this. Second thing, we are, as a lot of people recommended, that farmers should be benefited, economically benefited. In the second year itself, first year, there was an error. Second year onwards, as rightly told by Urpudi ji, we have been giving what the farmer wants, what sapling he wants, which tree he wants to develop. If he wants a mango, tamarind, neem, whichever he wants, then only he will grow. Otherwise, he will not go because of the shade and he will lose up that area for cultivation. We understood that. We have gone very minute. We have made mistakes. We have corrected ourselves and all these things. Water is enough now in Vijayapur. And as regarding seeds, it was mentioned, okay, we'll take up the seeds and everything. But at the same time, now I should congratulate the forest department. We have 5 nurseries now. See, we do not have any problem as regarding the saplings is concerned. Enough saplings are being grown. Whatever we require every year, 25 lakhs, more than 25 lakhs of saplings are available in 5 nurseries. And each of the forestry division, whether it is a taluka, this one, private, everybody is been involved. And that this one has been taken care of. So we'll take all this advice. And one more thing, Suresh Ablikar ji told about which all the lands to be utilized. For example, there are grazing lands. One of our friend, Dr. Raghuram, he told my wife one day, he is growing this plantation drive they've taken up. Let them not grow up into the grazing lands, because tomorrow if you grow trees in the grazing land, see the cattle, this one, they will be deprived of the grazing land. So utmost care has been taken to address all the issues, and the forest department, everybody's advice has been taken very seriously, and today we have got a lot of suggestions and a lot of this one. We will definitely implement all these suggestions, and the next phase, phase 2 of Vriksha Abhiyan, this one, we will do a much better than these 5 years where we have achieved. I like to thank Suresh Abdikar ji, K.N. Murthy ji, Dr. Abdul Qayyum ji, Deepak Sharma ji, Mrs. Deepika Bajpai ji, Adarsh NC, then Periswamy ji, then Dheeraj Pandey, Raghavendra Kulkarni ji, Parveen Diswan, Sunil and the media friends, DP Satish, Nagarjun, and our friend Raju Vijayapura, then Manu Ayappa, and all of us, all of this one, and of course Udpuri ji has been our own man. He was there in instrumental to develop the K-Regional Almaty Dam gardens over there. He was very much, the credit goes to him. So together we'll take everybody's advice. At times we'll be communicating with you people, take your advice and move forward and make this Koti Vriksha Abhiyan in Vijayapur, the second phase, much more successful with the suggestions given by all of you people. I personally thank for attending this webinar, because this is the Corona time wherein we cannot, this is the only mode we have to discuss, even otherwise also, because everybody cannot gather into this one. This is a much more meaningful discussion that has happened, and we look forward to hear your advice. And I again thank you people, and once again I reiterate, this is an initial. I have been playing the role of a facilitator only, but the people, the district administration, the DCs, previous DCs, the present DC, then the Jilla Panchayats, the Gram Panchayats, the NGOs, as well as all the forest officials, right from the lower to the topmost person, they all worked very, very sincerely. Their hard work has made the phase 1 a fairly successful one. The next phase of this one, where we want to develop it on all the streams of 200 streams, which will be much more successful. We're looking for your advice. I thank you again, all the dignitaries and officers and media friends who are made this program a meaningful one. Thank you one and all. And I'll also thank Nayukta for and other people. I should not forget you, and all the team here, who had made this arrangements to the webinar a successful one. I thank you all.
Thank you, sir. A leader is someone who knows the way, who goes the way, and also shows the way. I think you have done such a great job, and it's why Koti Vriksha Abhiyan is such a big success today. Thank you so much for influencing all of us. I'm an environmentalist myself. Right. Being someone who has taken this initiative, people I have seen just scream a lot before something happens. And 92 lakh trees is not easy at all. And I'm so happy, and it's my honor to have done this today. I also thank all the dignitaries, environmentalists who gave the suggestions. They say you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. And if each one of us start thinking like this, I think Corona or COVID or a pandemic like this will not come back and affect us like this. So I think we should all learn to coexist and understand the cycle of life. And you've been the best example, sir. So I would like to finish and conclude this discussion today. And thank you all for being a part of this.